fitness.
Et alors, on m'a proposé, c'était à 10h, il m'avait 2 heures d'échange pour y aller.
Martial farts.
Et du coup,
Let's go. Come on.
complètement random dans ma voiture.
It's good, isn't it? Isn't it? It's like we never left. Here we are in this beautiful, beautiful spot. Look at this. Look at this.
How are we?
Doing really well. Doing really well. Yeah.
Get in okay?
Yeah. So flew in yesterday. Came up the mountain last night. And here we are this morning, just like we have never left one of our homes, Macau home. Here we are in Font-Romeu, down at the lake. Beautiful.
Yeah, so why should we do a half marathon at this time of year? For us, it's really important given that we are building the amount of mileage and the amount of aerobic base that the guys are doing at the moment. And so a half marathon sits very nicely with that. It gives us a very good idea of their level of fitness after the half marathon, which is exactly what I want, especially after a spell of altitude here. It's both the time of year and the course, with Valencia being the ideal half marathon for the guys to target. It's also, you look at the locality of it's a Font-Romeu, it's a very easy journey into Valencia from here, so it makes it very accessible and makes it easy and a sensible option for us from here.
Great to be back. Landed yesterday. Easy run today, although trying to run easy when they're doing easy to steady is a bit difficult actually. So I'm just running my own pace, as you can see. But yeah, it's good to come to Font. This is the third time I've been. This is Carmelson V3, the fittest I've arrived. First was Fat Camp, second was Progress Camp. This is Fitness Camp, I'd say, racing camp. So yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into some stuff. Not racing Valencia, but I'll be going to Valencia to support, so I'll build up the same as everyone else. Do a few faster reps rather than longer reps. And yeah, see how we get on.
So I'm back up here in Font, which is, great to be back with the lads. I missed the first week by choice because I chose to stay at home and do some races. Did the Southern Road Relays at home, I did the National Road Relays, did a fun road mile in Germany. So yeah, that's why I'm up a little bit late, but I still get the chance to have 3 or so good weeks up here. And then I'll head down to Valencia and support the guys and girls with their training. So looking forward to it. And my training is going to be a little bit different. Primarily, I'll still be working off the kind of boys' main schedule of the half marathon. For me, the stronger I can get, the better. And I've got some ambitions next year of focusing mainly on, 3Ks and 5Ks as well as the 1500, which is not something I did too much this year, but I had some pretty good success when I did try it.
Yeah, so for me, when you're training more specifically towards a half marathon, my philosophy is expanding upon your 10K training. So it's increasing the aerobic base, giving you some slightly longer work, but you don't need to go crazy.
What's going on this morning?
Threshold, 5x2K. I don't know what the recovery is or the float or whatever. But yeah, just a 5x2K, pretty standard. It's like LT2 allegedly, so I think we'll get a little bit quicker towards the end.
Into the second week, how are we feeling? How's things looking?
Yeah, good. I stacked it on a run yesterday, but I've done so many hop tests on my knee and then walked down the hill in the Bondis this morning and everything feels fine, so happy days on that front. But yeah, my spirits are high. It was a big first week of running. It's going to be a bigger second week of running. But yeah, no, all is good. We're getting ridiculous weather up here, which never happens in Font. Usually it's stupidly windy. Like, again, we're at the track. There's nothing. Yeah, all good.
We're in Font-Romeu. It's been going very well. It's my first time at altitude. Well, I lived in Colorado for a year, but first time training properly at altitude. And it's been feeling good so far. Yeah, so I'm not running the half marathon. I'm training at the moment I'm training for the Cardiff short course 2K cross country race. I'll probably do the national cross country race the weekend before, and then beyond that, we haven't really got a plan. Right now, it's adding or going up in volume a little bit, doing some double threshold. Haven't done that before, so nothing super fast. Just getting in some good mileage weeks, and then I see when we go down to sea level, maybe start doing some faster stuff. But for now, it's just pretty much only threshold.
When we come to altitude, you have to be a little bit more careful with the paces, the adaptation, the stimuluses that you're looking for. People adapt differently. So from my perspective, I don't want you going full tilt at altitude because I just think you're going to overwork, you run the risk of overreaching. And everyone's different. So look, some can cope with more because they've been to altitude more times and find that they adapt a lot quicker. Some, like India Weir, it's her first time up here at altitude, so we're being very careful. as regards to loading, the stimuluses from paces, and the amount that she's doing. We're just being very careful. The way I kind of coach, the way I look to coach, especially individuals in a group, sometimes it's a gut feeling, sometimes it's science. It's not just one nor the other. And I kind of look at how the group is initially. So when we initially come to altitude, everyone's running pretty easy. So it's quite nice to get you running more together as a group. But then as things progress at altitude, then I'm going to want you starting to target more towards your specific own subjective heart rates so that you know you're working at the right levels for you and not so much as a group. I do think it's important that people are tested in the lab. Physiological testing is a key part of what we do, especially with progressing towards world class. It's important that we have that instrument, that data that assists us with when we come to altitude, because it helps us to basically ensure that we're running within those limits, constraints that we're given from the physiological testing. It helps. When athletes do have their physiological testing back and when they are given heart rates to run to within training, I do trust the athlete. Why wouldn't I trust the athlete? If I didn't trust the athlete, what's the point of giving them a heart rate zone to run to? Because there are reasons why I give them a zone to run to, because it's in their interest to run at that zone. And of course, there's the added factor that it's good for me because, okay, if an athlete in the early stages decides they get carried away with the pace and maybe go a little bit too hard, they're not going to hide too far, because I can just go to the Coros app and have a look at their data, and it will tell me exactly how hard they're working and what they're doing and whether or not they're working within the limits I've set.
So Ellis he's a really interesting character when it comes to this, because he's the most experienced half marathon runner, I think. I guess him and Ephraim in the team that have done half marathons have stepped up to the road. He's got some great times over 5k and 10k on the road, and that's probably where he's won some of his best races as well. So I've always seen Ellis as kind of our road runner, if that makes sense, and always thought that, you know, equally Sarah would be the same. I know in 2026 he's got some big ambitions, and him and Andy have chatted about stepping up to the marathon potentially at the start of next year and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the main thing for Ellis right now is not trying to force it to be ready on the start line in PB shape for Valencia. If he can get there in PB shape, or if he can get there in really good shape, then that's kind of a bonus. But I think right now he just needs to focus on getting rid of any niggles that he's got, building up sensibly and making sure that his body's in the best position. So when he starts a grueling, 16-week kind of marathon block in the build up to a marathon next year, he's kind of all ready to go on that.
You know, I don't want to tempt fate. I think last time I said that I was like going to be back, I fell back into a bit of a hole. Bum kicked up a fuss again. But honestly, touch wood, it's feeling good. I don't want to get too carried away. I think that's the issue. When you're at altitude and you're training with the guys, or you're living around the guys when they're training, you're just dying to get back in. It's quite easy to jump the gun a little bit with issues. And I think now I'm just like, let's be sensible. Look, we don't want this to become a long-term thing. Let's just like nip it in the bud. Accept that there's a bit of an issue there, a little bit of like a niggle, and yeah, get it sorted. But today I managed 5 miles around the track. I think flat, predictable surfaces, it's actually okay. And to be honest, the sensation's moved now into my bum, and I've been hammering glutes, and yeah, I think we're coming towards the back end of it, to be honest with you. So I'm thinking positive about it, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself, because last time I thought positive about it, I fell back into a hole and I had to crawl back out again. So yeah, there we go. We'll see how the next couple of days unfold. Hopefully a session in the next few days, but we'll see what Andy's got up his sleeve.
For me, the idea of a half marathon is somewhat daunting. I always think it sounds very far. When I do my Sunday long run of 30 miles, 50 miles, I think, I wouldn't want to be doing this at 440 miling or whatever they're going to try and do. So yeah, it's daunting, the sessions, but I'm very, very surprised at how everyone's taking it in their stride. I think they've all mentally come to terms with what their challenge is. They've obviously all opted to go for this and do it. So I don't think the sessions or the overall volume that they've got to run or anything is necessarily phasing them. I think they see it as necessary to get where they can go, which is really interesting, because I think with everyone being relatively new to the half marathon, they don't have their own ideas of like, hey, we should try this, or I've done this in the past, or this worked for me, and they don't have any sessions to judge themselves against, like, hey, when I ran this time I could do this session. It's all brand new. So the atmosphere is actually really good. There's kind of a weird air of naivety, but also kind of professionalism towards it, which is a really nice hybrid, because it means you're not really scared of what's coming up. You take it in your stride because you don't know any better, but you're also approaching it with the kind of attitude you need to be, which is saying, let me execute on what Andy's given me.
Good squeeze. Shit.
See what I said about the pinch at the end. Well done. Very good. Good. Really good. Flow.
You're so fit, lad.
Just
You look like an absolute joke.
Just seen me
running
2
around
weeks ago, bro. Blew me off after 2 reps.
Bro said that he was unfit. I've just watched him cruising round there on that group.
How's that, Scott?
Really good actually. It's only taken me 3 weeks to recover from Tenerife. Sweated the very lips off the whole goddamn island and style it. That is a... Get that on YouTube because any Geordies out there who know that meme, it's an absolute classic. What's up people? Just about to go to Tenerife now on my holidays. I'm going to sweat the very lips off the whole goddamn island and style it. Anyway, yeah, good sesh.
I'm up here in Font with the lads. This time of year for me is just generally getting back into some sort of general fitness after a break. I am going to Valencia with the guys, but I'm going to pace. I had a hope that I would get the sort of, if there was like a 60-30 group or a 61 flat group, so I could be pacing either Ephraim or Rory. Chatting to Valencia and the organisers, I think because it's such a stacked race and there's so many people that do it from like not just Europeans, they only really have paces for world record pace or other specific records. So yeah, I'll be pacing European record pace. Currently it's been asked for 58:45 to 59:05 pace to 10k, so they want me to try and go to 10k. 28 flat I think at the slowest for 10k. In terms of Rory, the way he's approaching it, the way I've seen him the last few weeks, it's his first half. I feel like he's got himself very, very up for this, especially this training camp. He is probably the most locked in I've ever seen him, other than maybe his build up to when he broke the British 10k record. So I think he's sort of running on similar vibes to that sort of what he was last December. I know he's saying like there's not much pressure on him and stuff, and I think it's good that he's thinking like that, but I think deep down he's probably expecting a big run from himself, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was obviously a pretty good day for him, the way I've seen him the last few weeks.
Fitness.
The thing is if you two end up running together, it's not a problem because it'll be within the range.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't want you to run too hard. How
So
far are you?
I might drop back if I'm above.
Yeah, and same.
How far are you running today?
Did you say
Did I say
well
5K? Did we agree 5k? What would you agree to do?
Has anyone seen my bag?
Ellis, I think they might be using it for filming.
Shall we a little bit?
Yeah, in the other
India,
Yeah.
shall we be a bit wild?
Should what?
Should be wild.
I don't really mind.
Let's go.
What does wild mean?
Let's go 6. Let's go 2 laps, which is how long is 2 laps?
4 miles.
4 miles,
Okay.
6.4k.
Yeah. Is
That
okay?
makes more sense.
Yeah, but then I don't have to walk back.
Hopdale made some sense. It happened. It happened here.
What is the pace?
It's LT1.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever I run.
Whatever he runs is the easiest way of doing it. Thank you,
might-
Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably I reckon around 5:10 is a rough estimate for average, but we'll see.
10k tempo, 2 heart rate, so we yet to discuss with Andy because like we might all go together, we might all go separately. Like sometimes it's no bad thing, just like doing your own thing if it's heart rate. So yeah, no, it'll be nice. Lovely evening at the lake once again. We're getting some ridiculous weather here. It's still going a bit mad, but and yeah, we've obviously got some shoots going on and stuff, which is cool for a new shoe that we've got coming in January, which is nice. Like, it's nice to have that on the side. Yeah, so me and Callum just for a little bit there.
Everyone had a really, really, really good session this morning on the track. Yeah, it was quite hard towards the end, which is quite nice, 10 days in here in Font-Romeu. So this session this afternoon is very much just control, making sure that it's very much towards the easier end of a run. You can't overdo these things. You need to be sensible.
I'm back here and then we'll do our 10k. So with any luck, could be done by tomorrow night. Should be fine.
with Ephraim, he's great to have around on camp and train with. He's always like one of the most positive people you can have around. He loves training. He just likes his mentality is, I think Andy might have suggested to him having a break after Tokyo, after World Champs, and he was just like, nah, doesn't want a break, doesn't want to stop. He just wants to train hard, I think. And he's always so positive about it. And yeah, I think he took losing his half marathon record pretty well, pretty graciously, but he definitely wants it back. And I think he sees his best distance at the moment as being the half. So I think he has a bit of pride and a little bit of ego as well, which you need around sort of being the best half guy in the group, and then hopefully in Ireland as well. Whenever he comes in and trains with us for an extended period of time, he's always run his best off that kind of training, because we kind of can control, like slow him down a bit essentially at times, and then push him at times, rather than, he's very good at just running blind, which is a skill, but and good for racing on the road, but when he can be a bit more controlled at certain times and then know when to push as well, which I think he gets a lot from running with us. He's tend to perform at his best, so I think hopefully for him it'll be a good day as well.
I've been living with Sarah this whole time at Font. It's been really fun. She's great to train with. It's been really good. I think we've been trying to train more to like heart rate, and I haven't really done that before, and she has, so it's been nice to kind of work with her, and she kind of helps me stay in the right zone, so it's been good. I think I help her more with the shorter like track reps, and she helped me more when it's like threshold or when we're doing sort of 6+ miles all together. Just keeping things steady. She's good at keeping in the right zone at the right time in the workout. And that's something I'm still kind of working on. So it's good to have her like for the whole workout and just making sure that I'm running it right, I guess. I think she's looking forward to it. I think she's feeling good. She's looking good in training. I think she enjoyed Copenhagen, but I think she's very excited to kind of give it a real go at Valencia, and also just off the back of actual like proper half marathon training with all the mileage and stuff. So yeah, she's looking good.
There she goes, bro.
Yeah, big day. It's going to be about 20. Well, with this warm down, it'll be 20.5 miles, I think, which is my biggest ever.
Here we are, coming towards the end of week 2. There's a more interesting session on Saturday, which is really the end of week 2, which is where I'm going to get the guys running as a group. They will not be necessarily running specifically to a specific heart rate for their individual zones, but I want them to run as a pack. I want them to get that feeling of running in a pack, and it's going to be kind of 2/3 difficult to begin with the 24 times 60 off 30, but then we're going to have a more, shall I say, progressively intense 6k rep for some of those who are working in towards the Valencia half marathon. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch on Saturday, and it'll be good for me to see the data that comes back from that.